Straight away, I'd like to say this is only going to be characters that have appeared in the Boruto manga. So that means no anime canon, anime filler, or novel end movie characters that aren't specifically shown in at least one panel of the manga. I will obviously be strictly using manga canon in order to judge whether or not these characters are actually Kage level, and if it's somehow unclear or confusing, the old cast from Shippuden, if they do appear in the manga, they will also be included. So that means Choji, Shikamaru, Naruto, Kiba, anyone like that will be in consideration for this video. On that note, here's how the video will go. For a baseline and explanation on what Kage level is for those unaware, it's a title given to those characters that match the same strength, power, or prowess on the battlefield equal to that of those crowned Kage of the villages within the shinobi world. And in Boruto, those characters are Chojuro, the 6th Mizukage, Kurotsuchi, the 4th Tsuchikage, Darui, the 5th Raikage, Gaara, the 5th Kazekage, and lastly Naruto, the 7th Hokage. Some of these Kages are stronger than others, but the overall rule here is any character that can match those traits I listed to that of the weakest Kage, whoever you think that might be, would classify as Kage level. I'm going to split this into 4 sections to make it organized and straightforward, starting with those who have direct scaling to confirmed Kages. Sasuke is stated Naruto's equal, who is the strongest amongst the 5 Kage when he had the Rinnegan, which is his direct link to Kage level. Since he lost his Rinnegan though, I'll break the rules and still allow him to be up there because of that, but he was able to damage us somewhere during the time skip Code and completely slashed his eye while Code had the assistance of his Clawgrime army, which still does put him above Kage level. Sasuke tells Naruto that if he loses to Momoshiki then it's all over, implying that the other 4 Kage who would be the strongest fighters wouldn't be able to handle the threat of him. Not to mention, fused Momoshiki was beating the brakes out of the other 4 Kage all at once. Kinshiki easily fought relative to Sasuke twice and was chopping up Chojuro, the Mizukage. Jigen gave Naruto and Sasuke a generational beatdown, and no matter what you want to say about his 10-tailed chakra he received, him in base is still handing out L's to the strongest shinobis in that era. Ashiki is Jigen without all the flaws, which easily puts him above Naruto and Sasuke. He also participated in the biggest one-sided beatdown when he fought against those two simultaneously. Naruto had to use Baryon mode, which only let Ashiki die because of the specific circumstances the fight was under. Delta fought 6-pass Sage Mode Hokage Naruto on equal footing, showing relativity to him, putting her above the likes of the other Kage. The new Delta in 2 Blue Vortex is actually an upgraded version of the one that fought Naruto and can now fly with Otsutsuki power instead of using her rocket legs, which shows she's an even more improved version than the one that went against the 7th Hokage. That's it for all the characters that have direct links and scaling to the Kage, so now let's move on to those who are for sure 100% Kage level, but just don't have the one-to-one contact to make it on the list above. Code without his limiters is stated to be above Jigen, who is blatantly above both Naruto and Sasuke. He also potentially got stronger over the course of the 3-year time skip as well. Timeskip Boruto clowned on No Limiter Code in chapter 1 of 2 Blue Vortex, who is stated to be above Jigen, who's above full power Naruto and Sasuke. Even if you want to claim this feat doesn't count because of whatever reason, Sage Naruto was useless and unable to do anything against Code in chapter around 66-67 I think, while True Essence Boruto was able to easily fight competently against that same Code. Kawaki is stated by Amato to be stronger than Naruto in chapter 70, on top of being stronger than Borushiki while in Karma V2, who is displayed to be above Sage Naruto as well. Shikamaru actually says that it'd be suicide for Naruto to go into that fight against Code, so that just adds more credence to those 3 being above Kage level. Ida is a cyborg created by Amato, but was supposed to be disposed because her battle strength exceeds that of Jigen's according to Amato. And Shikamaru stated even Naruto and Sasuke wouldn't stand a chance against such ability. Daemon, and hot take here, he's the strongest character we've seen in the whole story aside from Jura, because we haven't even seen either of them at their full power. He's obviously stomped No Limiter Code, who could be argued to be a Shiki level, and he laughed off Timeskip Boruto's Rasengan Uzuhiko, which has unlimited power and made the whole earth shake, easily above Kage level. Yeah, he's the Otsutsuki god. All of these busted abilities the Kara people and Otsutsuki use, which is called Shinjutsu, He knew, and he also transcended a physical form, so this guy is just above everyone in the series for probably the rest of the franchise. For the Shinju, there's a statement from Ida saying they are way out of Code's league, which depending on your interpretation could mean them as a collective or them individually, which no matter what way you want to take it, there's other ways to put Hidari above Kage level, like how he fought an outnumbered fight against Boruto, Sarada, Sumire, Konohamaru, and the Nishi guy, and he clearly gave Boruto, a clearly stronger than Kage level character, some trouble, which easily puts him above Kage tier. Mamushi fought against Boruto and had him cornered, forcing him to use the Flying Raijin to escape. There's also, like I said with Hidari, the statement that could be interpreted to mean that he's above Timeskip Code, and the fact that he's a Shinju, the newest threats in the universe, with Kage and Koji saying them being here is the worst possible future, more than implies and puts him above Kage level. Once again, she's a Shinju with the Ida statement, possibly putting her above Code. Her, along with two other Shinju, I'd confidently say beat Boruto in their first ever confrontation, and Boruto is someone who, like I said, is debatably at least top 3 in the whole series. So if these 3 can even force him into a corner, it puts them well above Kage level. Ryu is the Shinju version of Shinki, the sand guy, and as of now with chapter 14 being the most recent chapter out, we don't actually have any feats for him or statements, but I believe with the Shinju and how they are and who they are, narratively it only makes sense for the Shinju to be well above Kage level as they are the threats the shinobi world is against. And let's not act like Gaara the Kazekage wasn't defeated in order for Shinki to be captured. So yes, he as well should be at least above Kage tier. Jura is the leader and strongest of the Shinju, being stated by Kage and Koji to be the most dangerous among them and will be the one to kill Boruto. Jura also beat Kawaki with one hit, also solidifying him to be insanely strong. That is the last of the people who I'd confidently say are 100% no questions asked is above Kage level. So now let's move on to those who range from most likely Kage level but lack enough feats to solidify their placement, or may have other reasons to not be in the for sure category to probably is Kage level. Starting here, we have Sarada, who I've talked about many times on my channel and in streams. I actively hype her up, and she was able to react to an off-guard attack from Chidori Amp Hidari, and actually tagged him herself with a Chidori of her own. This Hidari reacted to the Rinnegan rods shot by the Kokugan, which is something that Rinnegan Sasuke said were so fast he is barely able to track them with his Sharingan, which puts her reaction time and speed in insane tiers above the Kage. The only reason Sarada isn't in for sure above Kage level is because her lack of feats and statements about her. Yeah, with what we have, she is insanely strong and a very capable fighter, and I'd argue she's most likely stronger than Chojuro, so for her I am leaning more towards the for sure Kage level. But with the little feats and everything with her character, I guess a case could be made for her not being up there yet, but like I said, in my opinion, she is above Kage level. This will be proved once we get more feats for her. Kage and Koji is a member of Kara, which does have the statement about having Otsutsuki level powers and actually managed to kill a very weakened Jigen, but mainly because of the prep time added, so that's not really a solid feat in my opinion. Recently, we got to see he has awakened a Shinjutsu known as Prescient, allowing him to see all possible futures, which could put him above the Kage level. The reason he isn't in the for sure category is because all of the statements about him and feats that he does have are all flawed or have asterisks to them to take away from the validity and solidity of his placement above Kage level. Do I personally think he's packing in some of the Kage? Yes, but the statements and feats for him are all flimsy, so it's debatable. Boro is a beast. The dude is dangerous and you can't argue against that. He has some insane hacks abilities. There's actually a statement from Code saying Boro is more suitable to take down the Hokage than someone like Delta because of the hacks abilities he has, like his virus jutsu, because unless you have a Sharingan to see it or the antibodies to go against it, you are for sure going down in a fight against him. He also has insane regenerative abilities greater than that of Jubi Jinchuriki's, and the only way to actually kill the guy is to figure out his core that's responsible for his life. His downfall is that he isn't particularly blazing fast, and other than his virus, his jutsus do lack in potency and size, and I could easily see someone like the Kagatsuchi or Gaara being able to seal him and beat him in a fight that way, but he probably does beat someone like Chojuro, so I do think he can be above Kage level, but he also lost to Team 7 who did have every advantage possible against him. Mitsuki has Snake Sage mode, which in theory is really powerful. I mean, his body was custom designed to harness the power, yet it still broke apart whenever he used it pre-time skip. Now that 2 Blue Vortex is here, he's able to use it whenever he wants, and his body does seem to stay intact and doesn't break away. So this should make him really strong, but he lacks any feats and statements that can scale him to the Kage. Those are all the ones I'd say range from most likely to probably Kage level, but we have one last category to talk about, and that's the they might be Kage level, but it's pretty questionable, and all depends on certain circumstances to allow that. These people, I have less confidence in them being Kage level in the series than those in the list above. Sakura is someone who I actively rep in the strength department. I do think in theory she should be really insanely strong, but like I said, it's in theory. Like, she has a lot going for her with the 100 healing seal and all of that chakra. If she focuses it in her fist, she is one-shotting majority of the cast and would one-shot every single Shippuden character that's not an Otsutsuki or Ten Tails Jinchuriki. And she is able to create shockwaves with her fist, so in theory this is like really debater stuff. She could fly in theory like Might Guy could in the 8th gate, because all he did was create the pressure needed to step on air, but without getting into all of that, in theory she should be tough and a capable fighter. But in the actual Boruto manga, she has no battle feats, no strength statements, wasn't in consideration when it comes to fighting Momoshiki and Kinshiki, and even now in Boruto she does her job as hospital doctor and best medical ninja instead of actually fighting, which does make sense. She does run the hospital, but with everything that she could technically be able to do, it's just never shown. Orochimaru is much like Sakura here in the sense that he has a lot going for him in theory with the white Zetsu body he now has and the knowledge of Dragon Sage mode and Snake Sage mode. He should technically be able to handle them with his body, and I know this is a manga only list, but in the anime the dude completely disintegrated someone, but back to the manga, he just is not shown at all and isn't talked about anymore. He has the tools to be strong and Kage level, but just isn't utilized in the manga. This last person is someone you've probably noticed I never mentioned, and that is Shikamaru, the interim 8th Hokage, and I didn't mention him as one of the Kages because he isn't technically the official Hokage. He's just holding down the fort like Danzo was for Tsunade, and the fact that if I said Shikamaru was Hokage, it would in turn alter this list, and it would allow for a lot more people to be put in the for sure Kage tier, because Shikamaru isn't a strength, battle savvy guy. He's smart, and his greatest asset is his brains and not by how strong he is on the battlefield. He does have the one feat of locking down Kinshiki and Momoshiki mid-attack with Shadow Possession, but that alone isn't going to make me say, yeah, he's for sure stronger than the other Kages. He's one that sure you can say he should be considered Kage since he is being referred to as the 8th Hokage, but it's not official, so that's why he isn't on the list. Hey, I'm sure I missed some people. I wrote and recorded this video while I was completely sick, so there might be a character or two I did forget about, so I apologize for that. And keep in mind, this was strictly using the Boruto manga content and not factoring in the anime or the novel stuff, because that's not what I do. I only pay attention to the manga. I'm not into the anime side of things. I've watched it once and that was enough for me. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you want to see more from me, and if you want to come join the Discord and chat with the close members of the community, it's linked in the description, and like always, have a good day.